Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham finally reacts to the coup that ousted Dr. Hubert Minnis as leader of the official opposition. That story straight ahead.
Loretta Butler Turner claps back at the former Prime Minister.
Another break-in for one of the F&M headquarters just days from election. That story is coming up straight ahead.
We're here for night one of Bahamas Jungle Carnival. The story coming up.
News is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, our news has learned that controversial Parliamentary Commissioner Sherlyn Hall has been relieved of his duties. This latest development comes one day after Hall's contract ended and 2 days after a chaotic advance poll that saw the polling station open more than an hour behind schedule and extremely long lines as thousands of frustrated voters were forced to cast their ballots at just one location. There were also reports of issues experienced by Bahamians voting abroad. We understand that Permanent Secretary Charles Albury has been tapped to replace Hall ahead of the May 10th general election. Hall yesterday blamed Senior Returning Officer Carl Smith for Wednesday's fiasco. Meanwhile, leader of the official opposition, Loretta Butler Turner, went for the jugular today in response to former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham, who said the Long Island MP and others should have never ousted Minnis. She accused Ingraham of being duplicitous, adding that he was the one who abandoned the F&M when he was kicked out of office and chose bad persons who turned out to be losers. She was responding to comments Ingraham made last night when he appeared as a guest on RTV's On the Record with Jerome Sawyer. Jasmine Brown has his comments.
The former Prime Minister did not hold back with his comments as he blasted the move by those 7 MPs.
That was a wrong decision they made.
Minnis was ousted as leader of the opposition in December 2016 after 7 of the 10 opposition members, including Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins, Central and South Abaco MP Edison Key, North Eleuthera MP Theo Neely, Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner, St. Anne's MP Hubert Chipman, Montague MP Richard Lightburn, and Central Grand Bahama MP Nico Grant submitted a letter of no confidence in Dr. Minnis to House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major and to the Governor General. Minnis was replaced by Butler Turner, who is now running as an independent in hopes of holding onto the Long Island seat. Ingraham says at the end of the day, it's the party who decides its leader, not a selective few MPs who could not get along with Dr. Minnis.
Well, that was inappropriate. A political party determines its leaders, not the members of the House. The members of the House can constitutionally select a leader, but if you are a member of a party, you ought to be bound by what the party has decided. And the party decided that Minnis was its leader. The extent to which they had a difficulty in supporting Minnis, they ought to settle it in the party. If they couldn't settle it in the party, they could have taken their Georgie model and leave. But they had no right to remove Minnis as leader of the opposition. The F&M is the official opposition of the Bahamas, and the F&M chose Minnis as its leader.
As for suggestions that he was behind the coup, Ingraham had this to say.
I had cautioned them against that before I was away. They tried this before, they had attempted this before, and I gave them very strong advice not to do that. Met with all of them, and I was therefore surprised when I discovered that they had done so.
When asked if he believed the move ended Butler Turner's political career, Ingraham would only say the election is between the F&M and the PLP. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, those comments did not sit well with Loretta Butler Turner, who is on the ground in Long Island. During a telephone interview with our news, she questioned Ingraham's sudden return to the campaign trail to support the man who declared that the Ingraham era was over after the North Abaco by-election in 2012. The official opposition leader says Ingraham left the F&M to fend for itself and made bad choices, causing the party to lose the North Africa seat.
There is no basis for what Mr. Ingraham is saying, and the Bahamian people need to understand that Mr. Ingraham is the one that abandoned the F&M on the night of the last election, left us to fend for ourselves. He not only did that, he brought in an obscure candidate, and we lost yet another seat because of his bad choices. Mr. Ingraham right now is hitting 0%. He has chosen bad persons, and they have all been losers. Tell him it is not time now to try to diminish the good of a Loretta Butler Turner that has continued to keep the F&M relevant and to take the fight to the PLP over these last 5 years. When his voice should have been heard, it was lost because he left the race.
Butler Turner warned her former boss not to underestimate her because he too ran as an independent candidate after he left the Progressive Liberal Party and won.
So I find it really ridiculous that he would try to diminish the value of a strong MP such as Loretta Butler Turner, who has worked equally as hard as anyone to keep the F&M relevant. Additionally, this is the very same man who said to me that I am the one that kept the F&M alive over these past 5 years. So what has given him a change of heart at this late stage? Does he fear the fact that the F&M is losing ground in Long Island? I just find it very questionable. Ingraham should not get into this because he ran as an independent, and he knows that Loretta Butler Turner is a very determined person.
Butler Turner also questioned how Ingraham could criticize the move by 7 F&M MPs to oust Minnis as opposition leader when she says he told her she helped keep the party alive after it lost the 2012 general election.
We use the Westminster system of governance. Mr. Ingraham is being duplicitous and untruthful in suggesting that what the majority of elected members did is wrong. We had every right within the parameters of the law.
In other news, police are investigating a break-in at the constituency office of Free National Movement candidate for Golden Isles, Vaughn Miller. It comes weeks after 2 other F&M candidates reported break-ins at their campaign headquarters. April Sands reports.
It's alleged that after snipping small camera cords like this one located at the back entrance of Vaughn Miller's headquarters, suspects came in through that small window, unlocking this back door and stealing an estimated sum of $8,000 worth of kitchen appliances.
We had a stocked refrigerator that was taken. Brand new, by the way. Brand new freezer stocked, taken. Brand new stove, taken. We usually keep the tanker, the gas tank inside. That was taken. All of our surveillance equipment, taken. The DJ set, taken. Brand new generator, not even used yet, taken. And they ransacked on the inside, and we're not sure what else may have been taken.
Miller said he and his team believe it was a group of people who robbed his constituency office, adding the person may be known, as his Golden Isles headquarters is always open. The F&M candidate for Golden Isles said he believes those responsible executed a well-structured plan, taking down only certain surveillance cameras and maneuvering brand new heavy equipment out of the building and into a vehicle.
We believe the window to the front, the small window to the front, that they used either a child or someone real small to access through there, who opened the back door, and they entered that way.
Miller said he can't help but think that due to the timing of the robbery, it may be politically motivated.
At this time of the year, you have to think at the height of the campaign. You can't help but think, and we're not saying it was, but you cannot help but think that it was, or certainly could have been.
Miller said the robbery has not discouraged his team, and they will keep moving forward.
This have not discouraged us. This have not deterred us. As a matter of fact, we shall be moving forward with greater strength, with greater vigor. And so I say to whoever our opponents are, beware. We're coming at you. We are coming at you. Golden Isles! Golden Isles! Golden Isles!
Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
And a team of 11 international election observers deployed by the Organization of American States arrived in Nassau on Thursday to begin analyzing key aspects of the Bahamas electoral process. Chief of Mission Sherry Tross leads the team of experts who are from the United States, Venezuela, Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Mexico, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Trinidad and Tobago. Parliamentary Commissioner Sherlyn Hall signed the Electoral Procedures Agreement that establishes the conditions for the work of the Electoral Observation Mission in the Bahamas. The OAS mission will focus on electoral organization and technology, campaign financing, the participation of women, and boundary cuts. The team will also check on the status of the recommendations made by the OAS mission to the 2012 general election. And just weeks after controversy arose over the dates for Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival, the three-day festival kicked off on New Providence last night with all the sounds and lights that come along with a big soca party. Kyle Joaquin was there and tells us more.
The music, the energy, the vibes. Night one of the third installment of Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival kicked off last night on Arawak Key, bringing out some of the best in local and international artists. Back for the third year in a row, Trinidadian soca star Patrice Roberts brought down the house. Early in the night, a picture went viral showing the concert field with very little people. Concerns then arose whether Nassau would be a repeat of what occurred a week before in Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama was not as successful as I'm sure you would have anticipated. And now coming here tonight, the first night, it's not where it was the first night of last year.
I'm not so sure of that. See, we've got a different layout in the venue. Remember, we were down on the kind of narrow end of that thing.
Right.
Frankly, I think the numbers are about the same.
Okay.
For a Thursday night. I want to measure tomorrow night. I think we're going to rim this thing over tomorrow.
Carnival was a flop in Grand Bahama last weekend. Major admits they will have to make some serious decisions when it comes to the idea of Carnival on that island.
Freeport didn't meet expectations, and I think we had a couple of factors militating against us. But they are what they are, and you know, if there's no viable economic proposition there, maybe there isn't. Because without a road march and without all of the other things that make BJC and Nassau successful, maybe we need to rethink what we do in Freeport.
But despite last month's carnival drama, the show goes on. And for the artists taking the stage, especially those coming from abroad, Junkanoo Carnival is still a hit.
Bahamas is always an energetic crowd. They're always welcoming, they're always up, it's full of vibes. I really look forward to the show though. Right, so we came in about Tuesday or Thursday, or Wednesday, sorry. And from since then, the people, the whole vibe, the atmosphere, just, you know, it's a good vibe. I feel like a home, you know what I mean? So, big up to everybody in Nassau, Bahamas. Crazy vibe in the show tonight.
From your wake up this morning, I will sing it again out loud.
Soca megastar Machel Montano headlines the major concert tonight on Arawak Key. For our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Thanks, Kyle. Still to come on our news, police say they are patiently waiting to see campaign promises bear fruit. That's coming up when our news returns.